It doesn't matter the number of people you have, but you have to have the right ones. So make sure you eliminate all the negativity, because you need yourself to put all your energy into this healing, into this journey. And it's not only the people, but it's really asking yourself, what is draining my energy? Where is my energy leaving? Is there something I have to get rid of? Is it maybe at work? Is it in my private life? Do I have some worries somewhere? And it's, slowly but surely making sure you eliminate all this.
Good day, everyone. Thanks for bearing with us. And our guest speaker today is Catherine Schopfer. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly.
Yes, absolutely. It's Schopfer. It's a Swiss-German name, but everything's fine.
So Catherine is an holistic cancer coach and a health educator, with a primary line of work being with cancer patients and around the stigma surrounding cancer. First of all, thank you so much for your time and your patience, Catherine. Should we start with the question?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead. Do we have a bit more time, or I'm here.
Yeah, sure. We'll catch up for the time we lost. I'll still want to ask you all the questions because you must have a lot of insights on it. So can we go ahead?
I'll do my best. Yes.
Okay. So my first question, please tell us a bit about your personal experience with cancer and how you got into cancer coaching. Like, what was that one turning point where you said that, okay, now I want to delve totally into knowing about cancer and empowering people who are going through it?
All right. So I was myself diagnosed with cancer in 2012, breast cancer, and I had a mastectomy in June 2012. And so I think the first turning point for me was when, after my surgery, I asked my doctor, so what could I do so that the cancer wouldn't come back? And my doctor told me, well, live as before. And that's when exactly I said, no, that's not a no-go, because I was already a life and business coach at the time. And I knew very well that the food I had been eating at the hospital was exactly what I shouldn't be eating as a cancer patient. And then my background is food science engineering. So the two of these things together, well, I knew exactly that was not the way to go. And especially because the life before cancer was exactly what led me to cancer. So that was my first thing. Okay, there's another solution, there's another way to go, but which one? So I took my pilgrim stick, or let's say I went on my quest and I tried everything, all the techniques, everything on myself to heal and get better. Then in 2016, I had two clients, one for life coaching, the other one for business coaching. And both of them told me in the first discussion that they had just come out of cancer and breast cancer. That's when, okay, then we started for sure working on the cancer. And that same year later, I was listening to a young lady who was nothing to do with cancer and health. It was just about business. And she was speaking about how, as a woman with, women and breasts and all that, it was difficult to be in a career. And that really clearly went to me, I need to help women going through cancer. I need to coach women through cancer. So it took me another year and a half to dare to go in this direction. But then I launched my business, let's say, and I became a cancer coach in 2019.
Brilliant. And so on to my next question. I want to ask you that whenever somebody is diagnosed with cancer, that feeling of being stuck, especially since the whole conversation around cancer is surrounded by stigma, and a lot of people see it as a curse. So how can a patient get out of that feeling of being stuck or being just not moving ahead, not seeing any progress? What's the fix?
Well, there are different stages, but I think what is important to know is when you're just being diagnosed with cancer, sure, you're in a shock, in completely shock. What you have to know is that it took some years to come to a tumor, let's say 1 centimeter, okay? So the cancer doesn't come in 1 week. It takes some years to appear. And there's time to recover reflection. And I think that's really the first step, which is very important, is to take time to reflect, to think, to feel,
and to be informed, to inform yourself. So first of all, taking time. Second thing is really about informing yourself. So what I always recommend my clients is to get for a second opinion, because you want to make sure that the first diagnosis is absolutely correct, but you also want to hear the information a different way. Every doctor expresses themselves differently, and you really want to understand your diagnosis. So that's really important. Those two steps are really important. And then I think when I'm just thinking for me, you know, feeling stuck in this, where I had to take decisions for my health, the decisions for the right doctors, the right treatments and all this. And I was so full of different emotions that I decided to go towards nature. And I'm always speaking about nature today, because I think it's a place where you can release your emotions, you can release your fear, your anger, your sadness, whatever is there, and to be a bit calmer, and then be in the space, in the place to be able to take a decision. Because at the end, it's your body, it's your life, and it's you to take a decision for your health.
True. Great. And so, like, segue into my next question is on similar tangent, but a bit different. So, like, can you throw some light on the stigma surrounding cancer? Like, and can you provide some instances where you felt like a lot of people, so that the everyone who's watching doesn't feel that they're alone? Because lately, whenever we mention cancer, suddenly people are taken aback and they
Oh
feel,
yeah,
again, I'll
I
reiterate that
totally get
people
that.
feel that it's a craze.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, it is something that I felt. Well, first of all, let me tell you about me. At first, when I got the diagnosis, I was speaking freely about my diagnosis. I felt like that, speaking about me and breast cancer. The thing is that what happened is people, when I would say, well, I've just been diagnosed with breast cancer, they would not look into my eyes. They would look to my breasts directly, all of them. So at one point, I stopped speaking about my diagnosis because I didn't want them to look at my breast. I was something else besides my breast, you know. So that was the first reaction, or let's say I got aware of what it meant to have a breast cancer or to have cancer. And the second thing, when I decided to become a cancer coach, what happened is that people were turning their back to me. They were afraid of that word cancer. So today in the society, cancer equals death. But you have to know that there are today lots of cases, indeed. There are more and more cases, but there's a lot also more and more people who are surviving cancer. So the number of cases are rising, but the mortality is falling. And every cancer is different. Every person is different. Every case is different. And that's the reason why it's so hard to find the right treatment, because there's not one treatment that can be done for everyone. So again, it's about being informed. It's about understanding that there's not one case is equal to all. We're all different. And it's very important to be aligned to ourselves, to really feel in ourselves what is the right path for me. And take time to feel that. Because there are so many things to do besides treatments. There are so many things you can do on your own. And I'm not speaking, I mean, it's really having this holistic approach with the nutrition, with the emotional side of it is so important. The anger that you may carry, it's really cancer. It's a dis-ease. It's a dis-ease, something that you've been carrying along for just too long. I don't know how long you want me to answer that question, but I could go on and on.
Whenever you feel that, since your insights will be totally unique, and as you said, that one size doesn't fit all, in everybody's case might be different. So, like, this is truly thoughtful, because a lot of people at times, the conversations I have had previously, everybody somehow says that the stigma makes people somewhat repulsive, if that's the right word. People still, there is still a lot of stigma, there's still a lot of doubt when people converse with cancer patients. And I think that needs to go. And that starts with having the right conversations and having conversations like these where you empower people who have cancer instead of, showing them in a bad light.
Absolutely. It's really empowering. It's really what I also recommend people to do, because it's so negative out there, is, and this is what I tell my clients to do, is to turn off the TV, turn off the radio, stop reading newspapers, turn off social media. Find the information you need in order to take decisions, but get rid of all this negativity around you. And that could also be getting rid of people, like your family members, some friends that can be very negative. I had friends that were so negative, and knowing that I had that, and it's just going away from that negativity in order to and make sure that you have the people around you are the ones that support you. And sometimes it's only the coach or the doctors or whoever is around. And it doesn't matter the number of people you have, but you have to have the right ones. So make sure you eliminate all the negativity, because you need yourself to put all your energy into this healing, into this journey. And and it's not only the people, but it's really asking yourself, what is draining my energy? Where is my energy leaving? Is there something I have to get rid of? Is it maybe at work? Is it in my private life? Do I have some worries somewhere? And it's surely, slowly but surely making sure you eliminate all this. At least the time you go through your journey until you're here.
So you're saying basically the circle you have and the kind of content we consume has adverse effects on how we feel about ourselves, especially when we are going through a traumatic experience. Am I correct?
Yes, dramatic experience, because it's such a shock. When you get the diagnosis of cancer, it's like if a bomb had exploded in your life. All your beliefs, everything, all your life shatters. You lose completely. I'm always speaking about North Star. I'm a sailor, so you lose the North Star. You don't know which direction to go, and it is so important to find yourself again, to realign to something, to hold on to something, and to ask for help before it's too late. So when you're lost, and especially the emotional side of it, I wouldn't have been so well today if I hadn't found coaches, therapists, many people supporting me. So ask for help.
Okay, that's a very beautiful answer, by the way. So I saw a recurrent theme in your posts and the way you talk. So, and one of the major themes is that you advocate resilience. How can someone build it? Like, what is some actionable advice you would give to someone to build resilience from the ground up?
Well, I think resilience comes and you build it the more you go through challenges. It's not something you can learn. It is something you go through. And I'm started having some sorry to move around, but it's to hold in my phone like that after a while. But yes, so resilience, you build it while going through challenges. The good thing is that the more you go through challenges, the better resilience you get. So that's also something to know. I think it's important to understand how resilience works. Resilience it's a journey again, and it starts to be, let's say, there, and you go down and you go up again. So what are the steps of resilience? When you're faced to a challenge like cancer diagnosis, first of all, the first reaction is denial. You refuse it. You don't want to hear it. You want to put your head in the sand. It's exactly, you don't want it. Then you're forced to face it. We're forced to face that. It's still not acceptance. That's the third step. You start accepting the situation. And then the last part, and that's where you really usually go down, you let go. You let go of the control because you just don't know what to do. And it's when you are down, really down at the letting go, that's where you can, after the letting go, start going up again. And the going up for me is doing some work on your personal work, personal development, and having this holistic approach, speaking of everything, not only the body, but also the mind, the emotions, the spirituality, the work, the relationships, and all this. At the time, I remember my coach telling me, you have to imagine, so resilience is like, imagine being in front of a swimming pool and you have to jump into the swimming pool in the cold water. So it's when you let yourself go down to the bottom of the swimming pool, then you can really press hard with your 2 feet in order to move up back to the air and to the surface. And that's how you have to see resilience. So it's going down, accepting, facing, letting you down, 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 and then you can press up and go back to the air and heal in case of cancer.
Yeah, so basically, like one of my favorite quotes is that when you're at the bottom, there is no way to go except up. So it kind of
Exactly. So press with your 2 feet, you have to, and that's where you also need some help, because you want to make sure you go the right path. You want to make sure you go right to the top of the swimming pool, and not lose yourself on the way.
Yes, true. And so speaking on the topic of motherhood, what is your advice for young mothers who have undergone cancer or cancer treatment? Because as a mother, I can't possibly understand like the emotions a young mother must go through, especially when she's diagnosed, and the ramifications it has on the upbringing of her child. So, what's your take on it? What is your advice for the mothers who are going through all of this?
Being a mother, and my daughters were teenagers when I went through my cancer, but it could be also younger children. And even if they're younger, and we tend to also always look after our children, but that's where you have to put yourself at the top of your priorities. It's you and only about you. Because when you are okay, when you take care of yourself, the whole family is going to be okay. So it's about, for young mothers that where the children are not like my teenagers, they could, go on and go to their life and go to school on their own and all this. For younger mothers, really to find help there, to find help so that somebody else can take care of the child, so that they can take care of themselves. Make sure that take everyday time for themselves. Every day they learn about self-love, what it is to put myself on top of my priorities, what it is to love myself, what it is to understand what is behind the cancer. And you need that time, because if you don't take that time for yourself, how can you heal if you don't take time to heal? And I know how hard it is, because we are educated to be there for the family, for the household, for the kids and all that. But it's really about putting yourself first. It's so important, because when you're good, when you're well, when you, and even though, I remember myself showing myself being vulnerable and deciding at one point, this is my life. I'm going to grab the wheel. I'm going to be the one now taking the wheel and directing the whole thing. It was the biggest lesson, the best lesson I could give to my children, to my daughters, because I showed them that you can face challenges in life. But if you take the right, not if you, but owning your life and taking care of yourself helps you get out of that, or makes you get out of that. It's a lesson of life you can show your children.
True. And I believe that mothers are superhuman. So I think your advice perfectly lies in tandem with what I think and what our audience thinks. So thank you for that answer. So we're on to the tail end of the question set. I want to ask you this. What is that one you mentioned about North Star?
Yes.
And it is probably the guiding light for you. So what is your mantra that you live by, which is your North Star?
Well, you know what? Speaking of North Star, because I didn't think of that first when you asked me the mantra.
Yeah.
My father taught me how to find the North Star in the sky at night. And I still look for it today. And I still look for the North Star, especially when the weather is clear, you know, there are no clouds, because it's there and it's always going to give me direction.
True.
So for me, the mantra, if you want the mantra, there are maybe two of them. First of all, for me, it's walk the talk. It's making sure that what I say to my children, and if they're now grown up, you know, but they're still my children, it's exactly what I do. What I say to my clients, what I say to you, it's what I do. What I tell myself that I will do, it's what I will do. And I'm not going to tell myself too much, you know, but just walk the talk. The second thing, which I've been doing for years, and that's helped me also through my cancer journey, is to say thank you every single day when I get up. So saying thank you to life. And that's one of my, it's more than a mantra, it's really a routine. The first thing I do when I get up in the morning and I put my feet on the floor next to the bed, going, let's say, to the bathroom, I would say, with every step, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you can add thank you to be alive, thank you for this life, thank you for this, you know, but just saying thank you. Because there's so many beautiful things. Even through the cancer, when you go through cancer, there's always something to be grateful for. And life can be beautiful.
Yeah. And speaking of that, all of our previous speakers have made me